Your dog trusts you with their entire heart. But what if, right now, you're the reason they're hurting inside? Most owners have no idea. The scariest part, the damage happens in silence. There's no barking, no dramatic signs, just tiny habits chipping away at your dog's happiness until it's almost gone. You won't notice until the bond is already broken, but you can stop this. In this video, I'll reveal 35 hidden ways you might be hurting your dog emotionally, and show you exactly how to fix it before it's too late. 1. Interrupting their sleep without reason. Watch your dog's eyes snap open in confusion when you shake them awake from deep sleep. Their ears flatten back, and their body tenses as they try to figure out where they are and what's happening. Sleep serves as your dog's emotional reset button. During those quiet hours, their brain processes the day's experiences and restores their mental balance. When you jar them awake unnecessarily, you're cutting short this crucial healing time. That sudden awakening floods their system with adrenaline and stress hormones. Dogs whose sleep is interrupted regularly become chronically stressed and irritable. They lose their ability to rest deeply, staying partially alert even during sleep. 2. Using physical punishment or intimidation. Physical punishment shatters the trust that forms the foundation of your relationship with your dog. When you hit, shove, or use intimidating body language, you transform yourself from protector into threat in their mind. Dogs who experience physical punishment follow one of two devastating paths. Some become aggressive, learning that violence solves problems, and turning that lesson on other dogs or people. 3. Teasing them while playing or eating. Playtime is a silent contract of trust between you and your pet. Break that contract with phantom ball throws or vanished treats, and doubt creeps into every game. What you call harmless fun registers in their mind as a breach of reliability, planting hesitation where joy once lived. 4. Isolating them when guests visit. Picture your dog pressed against the glass door, watching you laugh and share food with visitors while they remain locked in another room. As pack animals, dogs judge their place in the family by whether they're included in group activities. When company arrives and you shut them away, they don't understand why they've suddenly become unwelcome in their own home. 5. Not offering mental stimulation. Your dog's brain works constantly, processing information and seeking engagement, just like yours does. When their mind sits idle day after day, anxiety creeps in first, followed by depression that affects their entire emotional state. Mental challenges work like essential nutrients for their psychological health. Puzzle feeders that make them work for food, training sessions that teach new commands, and rotating different toys weekly keep their minds sharp and spirits lifted. 6. Forcing them into fearful situations. A dog's phobias trigger the same intense terror in their nervous system as human fears do in ours. When you push your trembling dog toward the fireworks they're terrified of, or force them to interact with an aggressive dog, their brain floods with stress hormones that create genuine panic. Forced confrontation with their terrors makes phobias stronger and more deeply rooted. Each time you push them toward what scares them, you're teaching their brain that the fear was justified. 7. Ignoring signs of physical discomfort. That persistent ear scratch or paw lick is a flashing signal flare. Ignore it, and minor irritation mutates into chronic pain that warps mood and behavior. What looks like stubbornness or bad temper is often an unaddressed wound demanding your attention. Many aggressive outbursts, destructive behaviors, or sudden personality changes actually stem from physical pain they can't express. That snappy behavior or withdrawal isn't attitude. It's their way of saying something hurts. 8. Shouting at them frequently. Dogs hear frequencies much higher than humans can detect, making your raised voice physically painful to their sensitive ears. When you yell, the sound waves hit their eardrums with intensity that creates genuine discomfort, like someone screaming directly into your ear through a megaphone. Dogs who get yelled at regularly develop chronic anxiety because they never know when the next outburst will come. They start walking on eggshells around you. 9. Giving up on them without trying. Dogs create lifelong emotional bonds with their families and expect that same unwavering loyalty in return. When you surrender them to shelters or rehome them without addressing behavioral issues, you shatter their understanding of love and commitment. Dogs who get given up often develop severe depression, refusing to eat or interact with new people. Trust issues follow them for years because their brain learned that even the people who promise to love them forever eventually leave. 10. Not letting them explore on walks. Sniffing and investigating their surroundings is how dogs gather information about their world. Every scent tells a story: which dogs passed by, what they ate, their emotional state, and where they've been. When you constantly pull them away from these investigations, you're cutting off their primary way of understanding their environment. 11. Ignoring them after a baby arrives. Your dog doesn't understand why their entire world flipped upside down overnight. Yesterday, they were your constant companion, getting belly rubs and morning cuddles. Today, they watch from across the room as you pour all your attention into a tiny human who can't even play fetch. This dramatic shift from being the center of your universe to becoming invisible creates deep emotional confusion. They might start chewing furniture, having accidents indoors, or barking excessively to get noticed. 12. Calling them for something they don't like. Your dog's name represents pure joy to them. It signals attention, treats, playtime, and love coming their way. When you call, "Max, come here," their brain lights up with excitement because they expect something wonderful to happen. But when you use that same beloved name to drag them to the bathtub they hate, something breaks inside their mind. This confusion creates a dog who pauses when you call, weighing whether responding will bring joy or punishment. They start approaching slowly, ears back, unsure of your intentions. 13. Removing food or treats while they eat. Mealtime represents your dog's most vulnerable moment, when their survival instincts run deepest. In the wild, eating required complete focus to avoid losing food to competitors or predators. This ancient programming still drives their need for security during meals. When you reach for their bowl or snatch treats from their mouth, their brain signals immediate danger. This interruption triggers protective behaviors that seem aggressive but actually stem from fear of starvation. 14. Keeping the same toys without variety. A toy box that never changes becomes as dull as yesterday's newspaper. Dogs need mental novelty to keep their brains active and engaged. When they encounter the same toys day after day, their minds stop working to figure out new ways to interact with these familiar objects. Rotating toys weekly or introducing puzzle feeders gives their minds the variety they crave for emotional wellness. 15. Using the crate as a punishment. Crates should serve as your dog's personal sanctuary, where they retreat when feeling overwhelmed or tired. This enclosed space represents safety and comfort in their mind, like a bedroom where they can relax without worry. When you force them into their crate after they've done something wrong, you poison this safe haven with negative emotions. Their brain starts connecting their refuge with your anger and disappointment. The place they once sought for comfort now triggers anxiety and fear. 16. Changing their routine abruptly. Dogs build their sense of security around predictable daily patterns. They expect breakfast at 7 o'clock, walks at noon, and dinner at 5. These consistent schedules create emotional stability in their world, letting them know what comes next and when to anticipate good things. When you constantly shift their feeding times, skip walks randomly, or change household rules without warning, their emotional foundation crumbles. 17. Laughing at or mocking their expressions. A trembling body under the table isn't comedic gold. It's a live broadcast of fear, begging for comfort. Pointing a phone at that distress teaches them that vulnerability is entertainment. Empathy, not amusement, is the response they need. Dogs express their emotions through completely honest facial expressions and body language. When they flatten their ears, tuck their tail, or show the whites of their eyes, they're communicating genuine feelings that deserve respect, not ridicule. 18. Not spending one-on-one time daily. Your dog sits by the front door every evening, ears perked and tail ready to wag, hoping tonight will be the night you choose them over your phone or television. They crave those precious moments when your attention belongs completely to them, when nothing else exists except your shared connection. Just 10 minutes of genuine focus can completely transform their emotional state for the entire day. Eye contact during training, belly rubs without distractions, or simply sitting together creates deep satisfaction in their hearts. 19. Subjecting them to emotional outbursts. Dogs function like emotional sponges, soaking up every bit of tension and chaos from their surroundings. When you slam doors, scream during arguments, or throw objects in anger, your dog's nervous system immediately mirrors your emotional state. Living with frequent emotional chaos creates chronic anxiety in dogs. They develop hypervigilance, constantly watching for signs of the next explosion. 20. Removing their favorite spots or toys. Dogs develop profound emotional bonds with specific objects and locations that provide comfort during stressful moments. That worn tennis ball or favorite blanket carries their scent and memories of good times, functioning like a security blanket for anxious children. When you suddenly remove their beloved toy for washing or relocate their favorite sleeping spot without warning, their world becomes unpredictable. 21. Putting uncomfortable clothes on them. Watch your dog's awkward gait as tight sleeves restrict their shoulder movement or stiff fabric prevents them from sitting naturally. Their body language screams discomfort as they try to navigate the world while wrapped in materials that feel completely foreign. Dogs who get dressed up frequently often develop learned helplessness, standing motionless while you force clothing on them because they've given up resisting. 22. Forcing social interactions with people or dogs. Dogs have individual personalities that determine their comfort levels with strangers and other animals. When you push your nervous dog toward an eager stranger or force them to greet an unfamiliar dog, their anxiety skyrockets, their body tenses, breathing becomes shallow, and they start looking for escape routes. Dogs who get pushed too hard socially often develop reactive behaviors like barking, lunging, or snapping when they see strangers approaching. 23. Rejecting their affection. Watch your dog's face fall when you push them away as they lean in for cuddles or try to rest their head on your lap. Their ears drop back, and their eyes show genuine confusion as they try to understand why their love isn't wanted. Giving affection feeds dogs emotionally just as much as receiving it does. Consistent rejection of their affectionate advances creates emotional wounds that compound over time. Eventually, they stop trying to connect altogether, keeping their distance to avoid more rejection. 24. Not allowing them to just be dogs. Dogs carry thousands of years of ancestral programming in their DNA that drives behaviors like digging, sniffing, chasing, and exploring. These instincts connect them to their wolf heritage and satisfy deep psychological needs that house rules can't eliminate. When you constantly stop them from digging holes, sniffing during walks, or chasing moving objects, you're fighting against their fundamental nature. Blocked natural instincts often resurface as behavioral problems. 25. Overreacting to small mistakes. A puddle on the carpet is yesterday's bladder and today's opportunity to teach calmly. Dogs master new skills through trial and error, making mistakes a natural part of their learning journey. When they have an accident or chew the wrong item, their brain is still figuring out the rules of your household. Explosive reactions to minor accidents flood their system with fear and confusion. This fear of making mistakes paralyzes their willingness to explore and learn new things. 26. Ignoring their excitement when you come home. Your return represents the absolute peak of your dog's entire day. They've been counting the minutes since you left, listening for your car in the driveway, and watching for your familiar silhouette through the window. When you walk past their enthusiastic greeting without acknowledgement, their joy crashes into confusion and hurt. Those excited jumps and tail wags represent their honest expression of love. 27. Cutting their ears or tail for aesthetics. Puppies as young as 7 weeks old endure painful surgeries that slice through cartilage and bone purely to satisfy human beauty standards. Ear cropping involves cutting away natural ear flaps and forcing them to stand upright through weeks of taping. Tail docking removes portions of the spine itself, severing nerves and muscles. Cropped ears and docked tails also damage their ability to communicate properly with other dogs. Natural ear and tail positions convey important emotional signals that help prevent conflicts and misunderstandings. 28. Excluding them from family moments. Your dog watches through the doorway as everyone gathers around the birthday cake, singing and laughing while they remain banished to another room. Their ears droop as they witness the joy they're not allowed to share. Dogs consider themselves complete family members with equal standing in the household pack. Including them in celebrations actually multiplies the happiness for everyone involved, creating shared memories that strengthen family bonds rather than breaking them. 29. Taking away their autonomy completely. Dogs need the freedom to make simple choices throughout their day to maintain emotional wellness. Deciding which path to take during walks, choosing where to nap, or selecting which toy to play with gives them a sense of control over their environment. When you micromanage every moment of their existence, their spirit begins to break down. This complete control creates learned helplessness, where they stop trying to make any choices because nothing they want matters. 30. Failing to understand their communication. Dogs speak through a complex vocabulary of body language signals that most owners completely miss. Tail tucks signal fear and anxiety, while yawns during training indicate stress, not tiredness. Lip licks mean nervousness, and whale eye, showing the whites, warns of discomfort or fear. When you consistently miss these emotional signals, Your dog feels completely invisible and unheard. They're desperately trying to tell you how they feel, but their messages disappear into silence. 31. Constantly controlling when they can be touched. Dogs need some degree of choice over their physical interactions to maintain emotional balance. When you decide every moment of contact, grabbing them for forced cuddles or petting them despite their body language saying no, you strip away their sense of personal control. When dogs never get to initiate touch or politely refuse,